Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. All right, so market is pretty red today, guys. A lot of DCA opportunities, whether you're looking to accumulate some more Bitcoin or, scoop up a whole crap load of altcoins, guys. Now would be the time, not financial advice, obviously, but turbo below a penny is a good pickup. All right, let's look at Bitcoin right now, guys. Down 4.7% on the day, up 3.3% on the week, down 2.2% on the month, but it's up 108% on the year. Now, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday, or last night, I should say, right? Now, we talked about this over on the other channel. What had happened was, let's go look at the Bitcoin chart first. Let's pull that up. Let's pull that up and have a look at that. All right, so what happened first here, guys? Big dump here last night, right? Obviously, or last night, this morning. We're sitting back at 97,100 right now. So basically where we were last week, right? We're back to prices we haven't seen since last week, right? Since what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, right? So it's really not that bad, guys. But so what happened here, right? Well, we talked about this on the live stream the other day. There was a massive amount of longs over here. Now they're starting to reaccumulate here in the longs, but there was way more. And we had said over on the live stream, that if we dropped down to about 93, 94K, or 97K, that's what it was, 97K, we would see a lot of longs get liquidated, and that is exactly what happened. However, now that has happened, guys, we're seeing a lot of longs starting to accumulate here. Now, we could see another 377 million liquidated if we drop down to 94,315, but what I'm thinking is more along the lines of all of these shorts. Look at all of these shorts. We could see a U-turn in the market, and we could see about $940 million worth of shorts liquidated if we make another sharp move back to the upside around $103,025, or even if we only go to around $102,891. That is $927 million worth of liquidations. The market manipulators are more than happy to take that money from you. So I would not be surprised to see a U-turn and a spike to the upside in the next couple of days to liquidate all of these shorts. Have a nice short squeeze, depending on how much of these longs build up. These longs continue to build up. Now, the orange is 100x, and the yellow is 50x. The blue is 25x leverage, right? So right now we're looking at far more leverage being put in on the short side. So I think, it's entirely possible we could see a very large short squeeze happen with another move to the upside, or we could dump back down real quick as well, down to 94,700 ish, and liquidate about 330 million worth of longs first, and then do a U-turn. That's entirely possible as well. But again, we have to kind of play it by ear. All right, so what do we have going on here? First of all, I wanted to show you guys this. We have a quick clip that I want you guys to watch so that you can understand what this means.
I didn't realize that if the average year the money printer goes, call it 8 to 10%, even in the Western countries, even in the OECD nations, and the average return on the S&P 500 is, call it 9-ish%, including dividends, maybe 9.7, maybe a little less, that it means that all of the work of the S&P 500, all of the value created there is actually the money printer. That to me was startling. I mean, to think about that, the fundamental notion that in a closed system or even an open system, when you're printing money at the rate of 8 to 10% a year, everything is losing value, and the things that appear to be gaining value are not gaining value. They're just keeping you even. So you can put all your money in the S&P 500 and you're not gaining any relative wealth at all. That's a startling insight. I mean, when you really think about the entire value of the S&P 500, on average, over a long period of time, not even a long period of time, is equivalent to the money printer, that's to me a shock. And it was a shock that said, oh my goodness, how do you think about creating wealth that is relatively greater in this economy? And you have to look hard. The other thing you can imagine is I could tell you about Sharpe ratios and diversification. I could tell you all these different things. And, you know, it's interesting. You can take a concept like diversification of risk, and at a top level, it can be a very powerful and useful tool. But if you are so focused on the mechanistic aspect of that, you can step back and miss the forest, which is in a highly diversified portfolio, it's unbelievably hard to pick up relative amounts of wealth. It is. Diversifying your portfolio, however you do it, is by and large going to reduce your incremental gain in wealth, irrespective of the Sharpe ratio. It's concentration of capital in specific bets that outperform the money printer, where you actually create wealth. That was a shock to me. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it, even though I taught finance for 20 plus years. I'm still a professor at NYU Stern, at Stern Business School. I've taught strategy and finance for technology, media, and entertainment companies. I'm on a 2-year hiatus, but I'll be presumably going back in the spring. For 25 years, I have almost, actually more than 1,000 former students. And I still didn't get it until I'm age 58. That's the Bitcoin journey.
So basically, guys, if you didn't quite catch what he's saying, with the S&P 500, right? If you're investing in there, and over the course of a year, you could look back and you could go, "Wow, look how much I'm up on my investments in the S&P 500." Right? It shows on paper that you're up, very, very juicy, right? But here's the thing: with the devaluation of the dollar, that's not actually the case. This is how you're being tricked. Okay, this is how you're being fooled, because the devaluation of the dollar, basically how much money they're printing, right, is actually countering the amount of profit that you're making in something like the S&P 500. Okay, so you may look at it and on paper the numbers are higher. However, your purchasing power over the course of a year or 2 years or 5 years is actually right on par with the amount of money that you put in the first place. So because of all the money printing, so you essentially have to make very, very wise investment decisions in the S&P 500 just to break even in terms of purchasing power on your money, right? So on paper, yes, your money looks like it's more valuable over on the S&P 500, but if you take it out, you're going to get far less groceries for that money than you would have a year ago, right? You see what I'm saying? So that's what he's saying here, is that it's shocking. It's shocking the amount of debasing the money is suffering, and how you have to make such wise investments and make profits massively just to break even. It's insane. It's truly insane, guys. Now, listen, if you're new to crypto and you need a little bit more education, guys, if you need help with this kind of stuff, if you've never been through an altcoin season before, get over to the Patreon, guys. We do live group video calls over there where you can jump in if you hear FUD about one of your projects, if you have questions, if you're trying to learn, if you don't know how to identify where liquidity is in the market, guys, where to set your sell orders so that they actually fill. Join our community. We have group video calls that we do every single evening. You can jump into those video calls. We have hundreds of people over on the Patreon, from veterans to beginners, guys. We're there to help guide you. If you've never been through an altcoin season, there's no shame in having your hand held by a community of people who've been through multiple altcoin seasons, who can help you get out of this bull run with your profits intact for you and your family. You can also schedule one-on-one coaching AMAs with me personally, and so much more, guys. We're operating nodes over there. We're doing a lot of DeFi staking. We're doing passive income opportunities, a lot of technical analysis training, all kinds of things, guys. So get over to the Patreon. The link is down in the description. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. And I will see you guys in the next one.